Hi everybody, welcome back to Cover's Corner. If you're new here, thanks for stopping by. Hit the subscribe and like button and hit the little bell so you're notified of any new videos we have. A little bit about ourselves if you're new here. We live in a suburb. We are not allowed to have livestock at this point, but we do everything that we can to be sustainable for our family using our third of an acre lot for gardening and practices that we also do sewing. And the dogs are going to join in this one. I don't know if you can see them or not. So yeah, it's a little bit about ourselves. If you're not new to the channel, welcome back. Thanks for joining me again. Today I'm going to take you on a quick tour of the Greenstalks. I haven't done that in a couple weeks. There have been a few changes with it. I did reseed some stuff, and it wasn't anything that happened with the Greenstalk. It was because of the time of year I was trying to plant it. So if you aren't new to the channel, you know that my theory, I experiment with everything. So even if it says not to try to plant this at this time of year, I'm going to try to plant it, because you never know. Anyway, so I'm also going to give you a quick tour of the other container stuff that we have on the deck as well. It's not a lot, so it shouldn't take too long. So here we go. All right, we're going to start off with the herb bed. Brett built this bed for me. If you're not familiar with the story, I wanted a raised herb bed on my deck, and he just grabbed stuff and put it together. So I have transplanted one of my tomato prunes that I had started, that had rooted actually after I pruned my tomato plant. So I have one there. Cilantro. Most of my herbs this year, most of them I have bought, because I don't always have the best of luck starting herbs, but I do actually have a couple basil growing, so I'm excited about. So anyway, so back here, these two basil plants were purchased. This is a tomato that's not looking so happy, but I think I'm going to water him a little bit later today. We'll see what happens. It's a prune, so it didn't cost me anything. Or a sucker, I mean. It didn't cost me anything. That was just an experiment. That was just, I don't think that's going to do anything, but we'll just see. So, the confetti cilantro. This was something I found at Lowe's. It bolted pretty quickly, but I left it for the pollinators. I'll probably take some of the seeds and just see if I can start it next year. And it doesn't like to stand up. Like, it was tall to begin with, but it just like does what I call the mean lean all the time. Now we also have some visitors to the herb bed. I planted my curled parsley. Let me give you the backstory on this. Last year we had regular parsley, flat leaf parsley. I had a couple plants out, well actually one plant out, and we ended up having black swallowtail butterfly caterpillars all over that one parsley. So, and we did some research on it, and found out that that's what because I've never experienced that before. That's what they like. So this year I planted 2 flat leaf parsley plants, thinking that'll give them, extra to munch on. And I planted the curled parsley, thinking I would be able to, get something out of one of them. Well, apparently, let's see if I can get in there for you guys. They love this big feller. It'll focus. They love the curled leaf. These guys are ginormous now. They literally, like, I discovered them Saturday, I want to say, when I was come out to harvest some of the parsley. I'm gonna get a better view of this guy. I mean, they're huge. They might not look like it in the camera, but there's my finger next to this one. I mean, it's huge. I come out to harvest parsley, and I discovered, and they were teeny tiny. There was one that was a medium-sized one, and now, and there were 5 on the plant altogether. And I see we have 4 huge ones now, and one littler one that apparently did not make it. but that's like the size. They were actually smaller than that on Saturday when I was harvesting my stuff, and I was like, okay, no big deal. Go and look at my other parsley. As of yesterday, there were none on them, so we'll see this morning. They just really love that curled parsley. So anyway, so Italian oregano, my chamomile's starting to flower. Rosemary, usually my rosemary takes off a lot faster than that, but for some reason I don't know if it's the different weather this year or not, it hasn't. Pineapple sage, I've not grown that before. And I'm not sure what's going on with it. Like my other sage, I'll show you in a minute, looks really good. So I don't know what the deal is. And it's in the same soil. So we'll see. Mexican tarragon. This is another free tomato plant I got from pruning in my garden. If you watch if you watch my video on pruning, I showed you how to take the suckers off. And told you that you can either repot them like in the soil or root them in a glass of water. I actually rooted the ones that are in this bed in a glass of water, so that might be the ones that I tried. The one that I tried to go direct into the ground with was that smaller one, and was this smaller one. Here, I'll show you. So I don't know. This one's not huge for being rooted, but it's looking a lot better than that one back there. So anyway, so here's one of the regular parsley plants that I planted for the little caterpillars. Nothing's on there yet. I might come out and harvest a little bit more for myself while I can. There's the sage plant I was talking about that looks fine. I mean, it's the same soil as that pineapple sage, so I don't know if it's a difference. I've never grown excuse me. I've never grown pineapple sage, so I don't know if it's a difference. I gotta come out and harvest this also. And then there's the third parsley plant that I grew, that I planted for the little buggers. And I don't see anything on them yet, so. And I harvested those down pretty well the other day when I realized that the caterpillars were on the curled parsley, because I was figuring it wouldn't be long before I lost these, so at least I have something. This is an experimental bed. This soil is it's not as hard as it looks. It's pretty fine once, like, it's just that like little bit of a top crust. And we've had a lot of rain the last couple days, but this is, oh, a weed. See, even in the raised beds. Oh, there, but they come out really easily. But this was that lettuce was a seed tape I bought. I just wanted to try it. I've never tried that before. And actually, honestly, to me, it didn't germinate any better than me just planting the seed. So, and it was more expensive than me buying a packet of seeds. So, live and learn, right? So here are my mints. This is spearmint, thyme. This is just I don't know if this is like English thyme. I have an English thyme, but I don't know if this is the same one, because this is one that I bought from a farmer's market and they just had it marked as thyme. I need to come out here and deadhead these flowers bad. I haven't done that in a while. Get some seeds. That's my peppermint. A lavender. Look at the blossoms on that. It's so pretty. Looking really good. And Greek oregano. So we're going to go over here under the sun for a second, because that sun, excuse me, that sun is no joke. My husband laughs at me because I'm originally from Michigan. I've been in Maryland for 4 years now. I told my husband that the sun is much stronger here in Maryland than it is in Michigan, where I come from, and he thinks I'm crazy, but it's hot. I mean, you can definitely tell a difference. Can't convince him otherwise. We're gonna hear some street sweeper noise, unfortunately. I can never catch a break with coming out here and not having a lot of noise in my videos, so bear with me. Anyway, so here's our lemon tree, our Meyer lemon tree. Hopefully you can hear me above the dogs now and the street sweeper. But this we got last year, and we didn't treat it right over the winter, so we are not expecting anything. It did blossom earlier this springs, which was kind of amazing to us, but we're just letting it recoup, and this year it will be this year we'll make sure we take care of it better as far as overwintering it. So anyway, here's the first Greenstalk. This Greenstalk, if you watch the first video I put up, was actually up here against the wall, but we were discovering that like our tags were getting bent over the from the heat, I'm thinking, and the plants that were germinating were like dying off like very quickly. And the only thing we could think of is that the heat was actually radiating off the house onto the back side, because it was on the back side of the Greenstalk, because the ones on the front were fine. So that was our guess. So we moved it out here, and we did replant some things, like I didn't replant turnips, but like in one the pockets that the seeds had died off in, I put dwarf sweet sugar peas. So those are actually coming up really nicely. See this rutabaga, that's actually what happened. I didn't plant anything in there yet. I don't know if you can see it with the shadow, but it would come up and then it just died off. So fennel's looking really good. We have fennel in here. We have some white, I don't know, it's got to come out and pick this white icicle radish. We got some stuff, and I actually kind of put some peas into some of the starter peas in some of the pockets with like these radishes that we're going to be coming out soon. More peas down here. Trying to get out of the shadow, or out of the sun. Parsnip, that parsnip's taken off. All the beans on the bottom of this one did really well. And these two beans fell prey to birds. We have a lot of little finches. That one I think might be done for, but this one here, they were sitting on them and broke the stalk right over. But this one looks like it might be okay, so we'll see. I might just replant this one. Just, I don't know though, it's got flowers, and it didn't have flowers before, so I'll probably just wait and see what happens with that, to be honest with you. Now see, these parsnips, or turnips I mean, on this side, this was not against the house, and the rutabaga, those are all doing okay. This is one that hadn't germinated yet, so I did put a pea in there. We'll see what happens. Experiment. There's no right or wrong way to do it. I mean, it's a garden, you know, it's food. If you scattered seeds in nature, like just scattered them around your yard, they would grow. So we'll see what happens. And look at this turnip. This turnip is, you know, taking off, especially for being in the heat right now. We're not expecting much. I'm not expecting much yield out of those right now, honestly, because it is like it's 90 degrees here now typically during the day. So, but we'll see. Carrots are looking good. I pulled a couple the other day. They're still, these are like snack size carrots. They're the finger, I can't remember the name of them, but they're from Eden Brothers, and they're just like the little snack carrots. So those aren't going to get very big anyway, but we're still going to let them go. They still need to grow up some. My rainbow, I had planted rainbow carrots here a couple weeks ago. It looks like I might be getting a couple of them germinating. Not that though. It's just in the one row here. The birds thought that was a cool dust bath for them. So I got chased them out of both of these carrot beds a couple times while they were out there wallering around. So it is what it is. Same thing with this one. I planted these at the same time as rainbow carrots. We'll see what happens. I'll plant more. I'm not worried about it. Sorry, Shelby. Tomatillo. This is my lone surviving tomatillo plant from what I had started for the spring garden, and it's actually got blossoms on it. Let's see, there's one, and I just knocked one off. And there's another one over here. So it's exciting. I've never grown tomatillos before successfully. So here is what I was calling in the first video. In the first video, that was actually the root vegetable Greenstalk. This one is the salad bar. It's got leafy greens. It does have some peas in it now, but they're all doing really good. Tomato plant. This is a lemon boy, and this was one I bought because I got these Greenstalks well after I had started my seeds, and actually I had already put seeds in the big garden, or not seeds, I had put plants in the big garden already that I had started. Same with this pepper plant. This was bought. It's okay. I mean, it doesn't matter. I know how they're growing now. I'm not putting anything on them. So, and it's got a little pepper on it. These are lunchbox peppers, so they're like snack size. Look at this butter crunch lettuce that I started from seed in here, and this came with. Was this one of them that came? I'll have to look back. I got packets of seeds with each of these Greenstalk towers. If you look at the first video for them, it was part of the bundle I got. So, and some of the lettuces said that they were heat tolerant, so that's why I was putting some of them in. And I did add a couple of mine that I had just to experiment. And I can't remember if the butter crunch was one that I had or they sent. But these radishes are, we'll see what happens with them. Same thing with this arugula. This was one that they sent. This is my first ever, guys, first ever success with growing basil from seed in dirt. I'm so excited. Cucumbers. The idea with this is that when it gets long enough, it'll trellis out, and I got that idea. I got that idea from that 1870s Homestead. She has a Greenstalk, and she did the same thing. I can't remember if she did it with cucumbers or if it was just a melon or a squash, but it's the same concept. More peas over here. These guys are doing really well in the shade. Basil that I bought. There's my English. Oh, let's see if I can not tip you upside down. English thyme. And I think that's about it for this one. I do have blank spots. I'm going to give them a little bit longer because this is what happens if you don't give them enough time. Let me see. Let me see if I can find it. Well, a prime example actually is that rutabaga over there on this one. I was like, nope, nothing's coming up, nothing's coming up. And I only planted these peas last week. So, and the rutabaga plant that is in there was one that I had actually put in there when I first put the Greenstalks together. Sometimes it's all about timing. I guess they didn't want to share their pot and decided that they needed to make their presence known. That's a little rundown of the stuff that we do on the deck and the Greenstalk towers. I love them. There's some successes. There's lots of successes and there's some failures, but you're going to find that in any method of gardening. So I'm not discouraged by it. And please don't be discouraged if you try something and it doesn't work, and don't give up on trying that. Sometimes it's just about timing. Sometimes it's the weather. Sometimes it's your seed. You know, like I have seed. I keep seed from year to year. And I save seed from my heirloom plants. And sometimes I find that, you know, after a couple of years, and I keep it in a cool, dark place. But sometimes they just get old, or they just weren't going to germinate when they were brand new. It just happens sometimes. So I ran into this question. Now the dog is gonna drive me crazy. He's drinking his water. They're like kids. The second you get on the phone. I ran into this question quite a few times. I touched on a little bit in the garden tour this last week. I get a lot of, how are you a homesteader? You can't have chickens. You can't have cattle. You can't have this. You can't have that. You know, and it's true. We can't have that stuff right now. But we do what we can with what we have. we can consider ourselves homesteaders because we are relying on ourselves as much as we can. Very few homesteaders that can actually provide for every single thing that their family needs from their land. I would strive for that. That is like the ultimate goal for, I think, all of us that are in homesteading. Well, we can't raise chickens right now. Well, we can't raise cattle. Well, we can't raise pigs. We can't raise livestock. We purchase that stuff from the local farmers who can. So by purchasing that stuff, we are helping them and the homesteading community and ensuring that we are eating as healthy as we can. I have not bought meat from a store in years and years and years. I have a local Amish market, but it's only open certain days of the week, Thursday through Saturday. With everything going on in the world right now, we don't take the girls out. And we have the girls, you know, we have a split schedule between us and their mom. And we have the girls that it only makes it possible for us to go to the Amish market once every 2 weeks. And that's just not, you know, to buy a gallon of milk at the Amish market, you know, raw milk, it's not going to last for 2 or 3 weeks. So I do go to the store and I do buy milk from the store. But everything else, I try to figure out how to do it at home, or I purchase it from somebody local that has that skill. I can make bread. I make bread. I make biscuits. I make rolls. 90% of our meals are from scratch. I'm not going to put myself on that and say that I do everything from scratch, because the reality is that I don't think anybody really truly does. Okay, I probably shouldn't say that, but in what I've seen and heard, there are people that are still homesteaders that everything isn't from scratch, and that's okay. It's okay. It's doing what you can with what you have. It's learning the skills. I struggle with making hamburger buns and hot dog buns. Do we still have hamburgers and hot dogs? Yeah, we do. So sometimes they're store-bought buns. That's, you know, that's just the reality of it. And we're okay with that. It's way better than eating processed food every single day, every meal. And that's our opinion on it. You know, that's how we feel about it. If you feel differently, that's fine. That's your right. So I just wanted to touch base a little bit on that. You know, just do what you can with what you have. Learn the skills that you don't have. Practice the skills that you do have. Even if you don't have an acre, even if you can't have chickens, even if you can't have pigs or cows right now where you're at, but that's something you want to have someday, learn about it, read about it. There's so much, you know, so much information out there, you know, books. I've had chickens in the past. Before I got my first flock of chickens, that's what I did. I joined Backyard Chickens because we were in a suburb then also. I have books that I've gotten, you know, and I still read them. I still am researching right now. I get the chick catalogs from Murray McMurray Hatchery, and I go through and I'm like, this is the type of bird I want to get. This is the type of bird I want to get. It's okay. I can't get them right now, but in the future, I will know these are what we need. The same with pigs, the same with cows. I mean, this is what we want. It's okay. You don't have to have it all right now. And even if you never have the ability to have, you know, acres of property, it's okay. Just keep doing what you're doing and doing as much as you can with what you have, and you're good. Anyway, that's my little rant. I am sorry. I am passionate about this, and I get a little bit, I don't want to say upset. It just bothers me a little bit when people are saying, but you're not a homesteader because all you do is a garden. You sure you're a gardener? I am a gardener, absolutely. But there's not one homesteader around that isn't a gardener also, because we garden. So anyway, I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for joining me this morning. If you haven't already, click the subscribe button. If you like the video and want to see more videos like this, hit the thumbs up. If you have any comments, please drop them below. I'll try to get to them and answer them. Most importantly, what you can do for our channel is to share this with your friends and family, anybody that you might think is like-minded and is trying to establish a homestead or just trying to have a backyard garden. I mean, it's okay. It doesn't matter who it is. Share it. That's the best way you can help us grow. And I hope you'll continue to follow us with our journey, because this is just the beginning of our journey. I'm going to be putting up more videos of different stuff that I do, because primarily it's me that does it in the house. Brett works full time. But just so you guys can see the different types of things that we do around here that are homesteading skills. Have lots of tomatoes that are going to be coming in. I think we planted 46 tomato plants, and that wasn't including the prunes that I started also. So I think we got close to 50 tomato plants out there. So there's going to be different ways of preserving them. There's going to be canning. There's going to be dehydrating. There's going to be all different types of ways to can them. So I hope you stick around. I hope you join us in our journey, and hit that subscribe button, and have a great day. I'll catch you on the next video.